I'm down to dunk.
And I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
This is J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lindy Waters, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mike Muscala, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Kenneth Williams, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to dunk.
We say this is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
Cracklin Oat Bran?
Have you had Cracklin Oat Bran?
No,
No. Okay.
but it's healthy.
You a big oat brand guy?
I'm a big Oat Bran guy.
Okay.
I think I would switch it with Fruity Pebbles.
Okay, eat faster. Don't put as much in the bowl.
Do you have a gallon of milk I can also take home?
You don't have milk at home?
One cinnamon toast.
Okay.
Crunch.
Yeah. Cereal is great. Yeah.
Ooh, welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before we get to Alex and the Summers of Sam 2022, which is why we had the different intro, by the way. Let me tell you about my friends, Aaron and Drew Reese at Shelter Insurance. You can contact Drew, 405-478-7714, or Aaron, 405-773-5500. Great guys that are going to help you out. If listen, there's looks like there's a storm brewing here in OKC right now. I'm looking outside, a little windy. I see some clouds. Potentially something could happen to your house. Something could happen to your car. Who knows? But listen, if you have Drew or Aaron's help, you're not worried about it. You know those guys are going to have your back. These are great, and they work for a great company. Last year, Shelter ranked #1 on the Forbes list for the world's best auto insurance companies. And right here in Oklahoma, they've been ranked #1 for customer satisfaction by JD Power 6 out of the last 7 years. Let's make it 8. Contact them today. Thank you for supporting Down to Dunk and the Thunder. With me today is my good friend Alex Speers. Alex, what's up?
What's up, Andrew? I did not catch on about why you were doing that. When you told me you were going to do a new intro or an old intro, my first thought was, oh, this is going to be the Alex Abrinas intro in honor of Alex Abrinas retiring. And then as it started playing, I was thinking, oh, this is for Lindy Waters, who just signed a 1-year deal with the Spurs. And it was neither of those things. And now Andrew's gone and has revealed that my background only goes to part of the wall. Now, folks, I do this because I don't want to pay more for this wallpaper, which is very expensive. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's very embarrassing because you can see that this part of the wall is not covered by any wallpaper. Usually I would zoom in if it was just going to be me on the screen. But because Andrew's usually on screen, I can zoom out a little bit. And now it's been revealed. It's all fake. It's a set. I don't actually have a room that looks like this. And now you see it looks better. Andrew's back.
Did I reveal your set?
You did reveal.
Wow. Right in the middle of an ad. Shout out to Aaron and Drew Reese. Please contact them today. I don't know where it ended or what happened there.
Oh, we heard all of it, and then you introduced me, and then you...
Oh, okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah. I was just saying that I didn't realize why you were playing that, and my first thought was that you were going to play the Alex Abrinas intro.
Oh, you know what? I do need to get that ready because Alex Abrinas retired from basketball yesterday.
Yeah. And there were some shout outs from former Thunder players.
Yeah, kind of shockingly, you know.
Well, he seemed like a guy that everyone loved. I mean, that's why we loved him.
He's great. He's great. He was just like way before all these people's time. Like my kids didn't even know who he was.
Really?
Yeah. Wasn't that surprising?
Wait, didn't he play in the MVP season?
Yeah, I mean, like Asher was
2017.
I know Asher was 5.
Dude, he was missing out.
I know. I mean, Archie was 3.
3-year-old Archie needs to get with it. Needs to focus on the game.
Yeah,
And then
it's wild. it just that
Wait,
made me feel a little bit old.
He played as late as the 2019 season. That was the second OKC3 year.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
it's
wasn't
dead
that the
end.
year where he was like mostly not here?
Yeah, although it was his most minutes played per game.
Is that
But yeah,
true?
but he only played 31 games.
Oh, okay.
He still started 2 games.
Wow.
If we were doing Slam and Jam trivia, what would you put the over/under at for his career high in points?
For his career high in points,
Yeah,
I
in
would
the
put
game.
it at 27.
It was 25.
Wow.
25.
Wow. I mean, we here at Down to Dunk were big believers in Alex Abrinas. We really thought that he would have a long career here.
I mean, his rookie season, and for 2017, in 15 and a half minutes per game, was taking 3.6 threes and hitting 38%.
He's like a legit shooter.
Like he was coming in and getting them up at a time when no one was shooting. We were desperate for any kind of shooting.
It really should have worked. It really should have worked. I don't know. Tell me if you can hear this.
So what did I say? Hello, I'm Alex Abrinas.
Yes. I'm not Mifton P. I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Alex Abrinas. I'm not miffed and biffed. I'm about to dunk. I'm down to dunk. Hello, I'm Alex Abrinas. I'm not miffed and biffed. Down. Ah, shit.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's hard. If I understand it,
I don't.
I'm not.
I'm down to dunk.
I'm down to dunk.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, I'm Alex Abrinas. I'm not miffed and biffed. I'm down to dunk. Nice.
Thank God. Appreciate it.
I mean, I'm about to dunk is like a famous dunk phrase.
Yeah, I'm about to dunk was certainly a thing. So,
I remember Alex Abrinas having some surprising dunks. Is that right?
Yeah, he was about to dunk.
Yeah, I really liked him.
Yeah, great player. Congratulations on a fun career.
But I was going to say that once I realized it was not Alex Abrinas, then I was like, oh, this is in honor of Lindy Waters, who I just saw signed a 1-year deal with the Spurs. He's still in the league, so that's good for him.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge for him. To get, I don't know how much of it's guaranteed or whatever, but for him to get another contract is a huge deal. So
yeah,
shouts to Lindy. Okay, Al. Summers of Sam 2022, maybe like the biggest summer of Sam ever.
Yeah, I would say other than this is a great time to be doing it. I mean, I didn't plan it this way, but doing this after the championship is great because other than the Paul George trade, I mean, this summer set them up for everything that followed in a massive way. And so even though there was one fly in the ointment, spoiler, this is going to get a very good grade from both me and Andrew. So where should we start? Maybe I'll start by just taking you back to the year before.
Okay.
So they had drafted Josh Giddey. It was Giddey's rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
They went 24 and 58 in that season. That was Mark Daignault's second year of coaching. They were plus 50,000 preseason odds for the championship. Over under a 23.5. So they beat it by a half a game.
Wow.
How cool is that? They finished 14th in the Western Conference. And I remember that season, you always hear people talking about like, oh my gosh, they faked Shea's injury and that's how they got all these good players. Really, if you go back and look at it, that was really the Giddey season.
Yeah.
If you look at Shea's season this year, when they won 24 games, which also was a Gabby Deck season, I'm just realizing, he turned his ankle in a very legitimate way in a game against the Jazz, I believe, and ended up missing 2 weeks, a normal amount to miss for a ankle sprain. And then they sat him the last 10 games of the season because it was done. Like, I feel like that season's very justifiable in terms of like how they handled Shea. He played 56 games. Like, I think it's pretty normal.
Yeah.
In terms of now, if you want to talk about the season before, fine, but we ended up missing out on 2 picks and drafted Josh Giddey. Okay,
Yeah.
so you could argue that the Thunder were punished if you believe in basketball karma or whatever.
They were severely punished.
Yeah, that next season I felt like was pretty legit. So yeah, Shea averaged 24.5 points. That seems so low. 24.5 points
Yeah.
that season. That was the season where like all of a sudden he couldn't shoot threes again. Took
Yeah.
over 5 a game, shooting 30%.
Well, he was taking step backs. Like it was like he was
Yeah.
he was in like let's just try some stuff mode.
That was probably peak Trey Mann in terms of us being excited about Trey Mann.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, listen to this. How many rookies do you think played at least a minute for that team?
Oh my gosh. I don't know. 6?
10.
No.
10 rookies played at least a minute for that Oklahoma City Thunder team.
10.
Now, there's obvious ones: Giddey, Trey Mann, Jerry, Aaron Wiggins. Those are the 4 guys they drafted.
Yeah.
But then you had Lindy. You
Okay.
had Vit Krejci, came back from his ACL.
Yeah.
And then you had the guys at the end of the season, like Yorgos, Xavier Simpson, Olivier Sarr. That
Wow.
gets you to 10.
Wow. We saw
Um,
some walking around in Vegas together.
The Sarr brothers?
No, we saw Xavier Simpson.
Oh, Xavier Simpson. Sorry. I thought you said
Captain Hook.
I just wanted to hear the Sarr brothers because I know you saw Alex. I had someone DM me yesterday. They were in a antique store
Yeah.
around DC, I believe. And Alex Sarr was there, and they were asking me what I should say to him.
What did you say? What did you tell him?
I said, I have no idea. I usually avoid these situations. Andrew would have something for you. I mean, I told him, like, it's so much easier when you have a kid because then you can just say, hey, could I take a picture just to show my kid?
Yeah.
Which usually people would be cool with that.
Yeah.
Because, like, in terms of, like, coming up with something to say to Alex Sarr, I don't know. Like, I don't know what he's into.
Where's your brother put his G League ring?
Oh, you could ask. I should have said that. You could ask about Olivier. You said, "Oh, I'm a Thunder player. We had Olivier for all those years." That would probably be a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Bummer,
Yeah.
bummer, dude.
Yeah, bummer, dude.
So this was Trey Mann's rookie season. Pretty good rookie season overall. Scored 10 points per game, 36% from 3. I think we were pretty high.
20 points in a quarter twice during that season.
Yeah. Anyways, that was what was leading us in to this summer. Okay, so we go to the draft party. The draft party was at the Jones.
Yeah.
Famous moment in Down to Dunk history when they jumped up to number 2. Really going into it, everyone just wanted one of the top 3 picks because, as everyone will remember, at that time, Chet, Paulo, and Jabari Smith Jr. were seen as a clear top 3, and pretty much everyone had Jabari Smith Jr. as not just, oh, we think he's going to go to Orlando, but also as their number 1 overall. And I know this because I went back and looked at everyone's big boards. And I make a lot of wrong calls, Andrew. I'm wrong about a lot. But that was one time when I actually felt very confident that, like, why is everyone focusing on Jabari Smith? I remember tweeting after the draft lottery, I bet we will be talking about Paulo Banchero when we get closer to the draft. Because for me, he just always seemed like a more obvious number 1 pick in terms of like the history of number 1 picks. But I looked it up and I looked at everyone's final mock draft. So I'm talking Sports Illustrated, Ringer, Sam Vecini, Bleacher Report, CBS, No Ceilings, and ESPN. Every single one had Jabari Smith Jr. mocked number 1 in their final draft, except ESPN, who updated it at 7:37 p.m. the night of the draft and changed it to Paulo Banchero. But everyone else had it as Jabari, and I'm assuming they had it as Jabari prior to that.
Yeah. Well, everything flipped. It was right before the draft. It was being reported. I remember being at Fast. So we did and I'll actually show some footage from the lottery party, which was just delightful. It was insane. Like we packed the house there. But at the actual draft party at Fassler, I remember seeing the reports. They're like, oh my gosh, like they're taking Paulo. And now, like, can you imagine had Orlando not taken Paulo and they took Jabari instead at number 1.
No, and Houston getting Paulo, like
Houston gets Paolo. Like that changes. I mean, it changes everything.
yeah, it does. That would have been wild. And I remember the night before being up very late. It was on the West Coast, and all of a sudden there was a huge shift in the betting markets
Yeah.
towards Paulo.
Yeah.
And then by morning it had shifted back.
Mm-hmm.
And so it felt like, okay, something's up. Something is weird about this. But in terms of final mock drafts, pretty much everyone was sticking with Jabari Smith Jr. first overall. And every single one of those had Chet going number 2.
Yeah.
So that part of it was like very clear. Okay, so this is from the draft lottery party.
This is from the lottery party after the Thunder get the second pick, and people just dunkers just freaking out.
If you're
So people were very excited. I mean, and a lot of it was like the fact that we were so let down in the first lottery.
Yeah.
That like the excitement of getting the second pick in that draft was just overwhelming.
And
yeah,
I would say while Chet was mocked by everyone, there was some talk among the Thunder fan base. I remember there was a decent chunk of Thunder fans wanting Jabari Smith Jr.
Definitely.
Probably because a lot of the draft experts were putting him at number 1 on their big boards.
Yeah.
I would say a smaller contingent for Paulo, and then a lot of people did want Chet because he was an obvious fit with this team at that time. Because you were thinking, okay, we have SGA, we have, I mean, their entire rebuilding process had been like, hey, what if we just didn't have a center that mattered, and we just built.
Mike Muscala is the only center that we roster.
Yeah, and so it did seem like an obvious fit at the time.
Yeah.
I have some stories. So these are some things I found as I was looking through like old mock drafts about Chet. So CBS reported, this is on their final mock draft, there's some scuttlebutt suggesting the Thunder are infatuated with Jaden Ivey, but they won't pass up a talent like Chet at number 2. If you remember that draft, right like towards the end, there was like the Shaden Sharp buzz.
Yes.
And then there was the Jaden Ivey buzz, like very close to the end. And there were these reports about the Thunder maybe trading down from 2 to 4. And it just never made sense because Chet just seemed like such an obvious Thunder guy.
Yeah.
And luckily those weren't true. and maybe were made up by one Troy Weaver, who happened to be picking at 5 in that draft and maybe wanted someone else to fall to him.
Heard the Thunder are infatuated.
Infatuated.
Maybe God, I remember people talking about that. It's like, please don't do this.
Yeah.
Please don't.
And then Jeremy Wu said, quote, as I understand things, at least one concrete maneuver was taken by Chet away from the Magic. According to multiple sources with knowledge of the situation, Holmgren bailed early on his last day of his Orlando visit, conducting a brief on-court shooting workout that he cut short. And I remember hearing this, and, you know, there were down times in the rebuild. And so to hear that a like top 2 prospect was trying to angle his way essentially to OKC made you feel pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that was huge.
And Jonathan Gavoni talks about that. He said, Holmgren, who has worked out only for Orlando and the Thunder, seems comfortable with the idea of being selected here. OKC's rebuild has been viewed favorably by players and agent thanks to the Thunder's strong player development infrastructure, coaching staff, organizational culture, and a trove of players and future picks assembled that should allow OKC to quickly pivot toward respectability in the near future. OKC was just getting like a lot of good buzz at this time, even though they were coming off a 24-win season.
Yeah.
And in fact, Rye Guy, I found his list of confirmed workouts from this draft. So this is right before the draft happened. These were the list of confirmed workouts. Obviously, Chet and J-Dub did work out.
Mm-hmm.
Paulo and Jabari Smith Jr. And in fact, Jabari Smith only worked out for Orlando or OKC. Never worked out for Houston. That was how sure he was going in the top two. Keegan Murray worked out. Shaden Sharp, Jeremy Sohan, Johnny Davis, Ochai Agbaji, Tari Eason, Andrew Nemhard, and then Andrew, the final one, Keon Ellis. Keon
Ellis.
Yeah.
Shout out.
So the Thunder take Chet Holmgren at 2, which I would say by draft night felt pretty assured, although after Paulo was selected in this big surprise move, first they cut to the Houston fans, which was so funny.
Yeah.
They cut to the Houston fans. They're miserable. They're hanging their heads because they had just assumed like, oh my gosh, we're going to get away with murder here.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
That's how it felt.
And then we think we're going to be drafting Chet, and all of a sudden Chris Haynes comes in, tweets out, the Thunder are selecting Jabari Smith Jr.
Yeah, I remember that. I felt extremely confident that the Thunder were drafting Chet. And then it was like a gut punch seeing that tweet. Everyone at Fassler was just kind of looking around. What happened here?
Yeah.
Why are they taking Jabari Smith? And it was I don't know, maybe 43 seconds of like just one of the most confusing times of my life, and it was quickly changed.
Yeah, luckily it changed very quickly, but at the time it's like, I mean, Chris Haynes is a totally legitimate NBA reporter, and it's rare that someone would get a pick this high in the draft wrong.
Yeah.
And so it was very scary for a second. So then they draft Chet.
He must have been guessing, right?
I don't know.
Like what was because to me, it had to have been like a guess. Like, hey, Jabari was supposed to go number 1. He gets, replaced by Paulo. Surely he'll just go 2. So I'll just tweet that he's going 2. I don't know what other explanation there would be. Because if you're getting one, you're not getting legitimate sourcing from the Thunder on who they're going to pick.
Right.
Like that's just not going to happen. I mean, even like you still have to wait, to get who the Thunder are going to pick until they pick them, from Shams or at Woj at the time. It was like a thing where like the whole draft on Twitter would just halt when it became the Thunder's turn because no one was leaking it.
Yeah.
And so it had to have been a guess. Like I just don't know what other circumstances would have arisen. I'm sure that he was with somebody that was like, oh yeah, well, if Jabari was supposed to go 1, then he must go 2. But it was always going to be Chet.
And so Chet gets picked, and we still have another pick because we have the pick coming in from the original Paul George SGA trade, number 12. So I did look up all these mock drafts. Who did they have the Thunder selecting at 12?
Oh, interesting.
So ESPN had AJ Griffin. There were a lot of fans of AJ Griffin. I mean, I was a fan of AJ Griffin.
LA was maybe his number 1 fan.
No Ceilings and The Ringer had Jeremy Sohan, which also a lot of fans of Jeremy Sohan. One right here.
Yeah.
CBS and Bleacher Report had Jalen Duren. I remember that was my prediction going into the draft night.
Yeah, that was Duren. I think it was like your bold prediction that they were going to like trade up for him or something, right?
Something like that. And then Sam Vecini and Jeremy Wu, who was at that time at Sports Illustrated, both had Oos.
Yeah.
Both had Ousmane Dieng. So there was some buzz about Ousmane Dieng, and that brings us to Ousmane Dieng because he ends up going 11.
Mm-hmm.
Now, first of all, I was very interested in seeing where was he mocked going into the final day.
Yeah.
And he was mocked everywhere from number 8 at New Orleans. Jonathan Goni had him going to New Orleans. The Ringer had him going to New Orleans at 8.
Crazy.
all the way to number 17 at Houston. So that was kind of his range. And again, Vicini and Jeremy Wu had him going number 12. But looking back, if Dyson Daniels had gone to Portland at 7, which a lot of these mock drafts had predicted and would have made sense, it does seem like New Orleans would have been a strong favorite to draft Ousmane Dieng at 8. And who knows how that would have shifted things. So they trade up. Well, I guess they trade in to the number 11 pick with the Knicks. I can remember we didn't actually hear about the trade until after the pick had been made because the pick came up as the Knicks have selected Ousmane Dieng. I tweeted a celebratory tweet because I was so happy that someone else took Ousmane Dieng because
I felt the same way.
I did not like him as a prospect, but I also recognized that he was clearly like Presti coded. And so I knew that if he was there, they might take him. I was so happy. Oh my gosh, thank you, Knicks. Thank you. And then we get the report that the Thunder have traded 3 first-round picks to come and get Ousmane Dieng. Now, those picks, we now know a lot more about those picks.
Yeah.
One of them was the 2023 Denver pick, which ended up being number 27 in the draft. That was Nick Smith Jr. Pick number 2 was just picked. It became the 2025 Minnesota pick, number 17, Jon Berenjay.
Yeah.
And then the final pick to convey will be the 2026 Washington pick, which likely won't convey as a first because it's projected 1 through 8.
Yeah.
And at that point, it will turn into 2 Washington seconds in 26 and 27.
Yeah.
So the final haul is a 27th pick, 17th pick, and 2 seconds, which is still a lot to give up for the 11th pick when you're trading out of the draft.
Yeah.
But I did look at past trade ups into the lottery. So for example, let's start 2014, Elfrid Payton. He was pick number 10. They had to give up pick 12 in that draft, a future first and a future second.
Yeah, that's usually how it works. Is like I at the time, even when they said they gave up 3 picks, I thought the 12th pick was going to be part of it.
Yeah. But still, like, that's kind of in line. Like, 2 firsts and a second. Like, that's pretty close. 2017 was Zach Collins, who was picked 10. They got 15 and 20 in that draft, so 2 firsts.
Yeah.
2018, SGA was a trade up,
Mm-hmm.
pick 11. All they gave up was pick 12 and 2 future seconds.
Hmm.
That was a good deal. And then 2018, also, Mikal Bridges, pick 10. They got pick 16 in that draft and then a future first, which ended up being the Trey Mann pick. So you can see from those, like, usually 2 firsts and then maybe a second.
Mm-hmm.
So this trade ended up being 2 firsts, 2 outside of the lottery first, and then 2 seconds. So in retrospect, like, it wasn't that crazy of what they gave up. And if they had ended up drafting J-Dub in the spot, it's like, oh, that's just a great trade. You know, like they paid like a close to a normal amount and got a great player.
Yeah.
But they end up drafting Ousmane Dieng. And so the Ringer, you know how they do their shades of?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Their shades of, for Ousmane Dieng, shades of Brandon Ingram,
Okay.
prime Chandler Parsons, and
What?
Evan Turner.
What?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like physically, Brandon Ingram, like,
Yeah. I mean, Oos
body
is,
type.
Oos is a giant. There's no question about that.
Evan Turner, I suppose, in that he like couldn't really shoot, but he had some passing chops.
Evan Turner was like a card at Ohio State.
So then I was looking at like, okay, what were other people saying about Oos? Gavoni said that Dieng had wowed New Orleans in a private workout in Miami several weeks ago.
Wow.
Again, connecting him to the Pelicans. And then Jeremy Wu said, it's well known in league circles that the Cavs are a suitor for Ousmane Dieng, but it feels increasingly unlikely he actually makes it to their pick at number 14.
Yeah.
Rival teams have speculated that Cleveland could attempt to move up the board and select him, but they may need to get ahead of Oklahoma City to do that.
Yeah.
Which is correct.
Yeah. Part of it, too, like the 3 picks, is that they probably had to outbid Cleveland, you know?
Yeah. And if they wanted J-Dub, because there are also rumors that Cleveland wanted J-Dub, if they wanted, and in fact, in terms of where J-Dub was mocked, both Sam Vecini and Jeremy Wu again had him mocked at 14 to Cleveland. So if the Thunder, if the Cavs were going to move up to 11, which clearly that pick was available,
Yeah.
you actually wouldn't know whether they were going to select Usman Jang or J-Dub.
Or Dub. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I definitely think they had to get that pick. And they did pay a premium for it, to be clear.
Yeah.
And it looks bad in retrospect because of who they selected, but it guaranteed that they got J-Dub.
That's the thing. Is like, even if you don't like the Us pick, which is a very reasonable thing to not like. The fact that it protected them from anybody else taking Dub. Like you would expend, I would expend 7 first-round picks to make sure that nobody else got Jalen Williams. Like that's what you would do. And so if you expended 3 picks so that you could pick both guys, whatever. Like the fact that you got J-Dub is a huge deal. And like I have no idea about this, but I just wonder if it's like, hey, let's select Dub second so that he's part of the Paul George trade. Because
I thought you had said it was because, or I thought that the line was that they weren't, that the Knicks deal was still being finalized.
Yeah, I'm mostly joking about that, but I do think like the fact is like if they were going to take one of the guys, it was going to be J-Dub. And there's no funny business with the 12th pick, like it's not going to fall apart. Like a trade could fall apart on draft night for whatever reason. Like it's unlikely to fall apart, but there is at least a chance. And so they had the 12th pick in hand. You take the guy that you want most at 12 when you know that you're picking back to back. Just because who knows what could happen with that pick 11. And they got both guys. I love the idea of just like picking Chet and then drafting 2 wings, like just like, hey, like those are the hardest guys to acquire in the NBA. Like go get 2 wings. And if one of them works out, then great. And one of them did work out. And the other one is still finding his way. So I think it's obviously the J-Dub pick. I think that's Presti's best pick ever. I don't think it's necessarily that close. I think that it's that changed the course of the franchise, like period. If somehow like they didn't have that pick, or they just, if the Knicks took J-Dub and then the Thunder took Us, like this whole operation looks so different. Like that.
Yeah,
that pick changed everything.
And also that next year, if Chet misses his rookie season, like they're probably back in the lottery again. They're probably not. Well, I mean, they were in the lottery, but they're probably not going. They're not going 40 and 42.
Yeah,
if it's not J-Dub and they don't have Chet, because that's basically the team that they came into this lottery with.
Yeah.
So it probably would have been another season of tanking. And what was the next year? Who were the players in that draft?
In the 23 draft?
Yeah.
And that's the Wemby draft.
Oh, the Wemby draft. Yeah. Well, they could have gotten Wemby, Andrew. So
Wemby.
Think about that.
Could have got Scoot Henderson, Anthony Black.
Yeah.
What could have been?
They might have taken Anthony Black. So I would say opinions from what I read on Us were mixed. Some people were like, oh, this is obviously a Thunder guy. Everyone described him as raw and a project. And for a team that just won 24 games, it seemed like a reasonable pick to make to a lot of people.
Yeah.
There were a few people that didn't just like him as a prospect. But as I showed with the mock draft, like this was kind of his range.
Yeah.
He was kind of expected to go somewhere between like 8 and 17. So it made sense. Meanwhile, Dub, the highest he was mocked close to the draft was 14 at Cleveland. And that was Sam Vecini and Jeremy Woo. The Ringer and Bleacher Report had him at 16. Actually, ESPN as well, Gavoni, had him going 16 to Atlanta.
Wow.
No Ceilings had 21 to Denver, and then CBS 24 to Milwaukee. Oh, my God. That would have changed Milwaukee's life if J-Dub.
They probably win another title.
Yeah. And I would say that placement, that was much similar to where he would have been earlier in the draft process.
Yeah.
You know, like at the combine, even coming out of the combine, I would say most people had him in like the late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
So Jonathan Gavoni said the Thunder is said to be talking about the 12th pick. The Thunder are said to be aggressively pursuing trade conversations for this pick, seeking to package it with future assets or existing OKC players in order to move into the mid lottery with players including Ivy and Sharp believed to be among the potential prospects they covet. So this was another one of those reports that got everyone going. I mean, we spent episodes talking about the idea of moving up from 12
Yeah.
and who would they want with a lot of focus on Shaden Sharp from what I remember at the time. Because I feel like at the time it was hard to imagine them getting high enough to get Jaden Ivey.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time he was seen as like the clear number 4, even though he ends up going number 5. Like it was a mild surprise when Keegan Murray went 4 and Jaden Ivey dropped to 5.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember we always talked about the sweet spot being like the 11 to 15 range. And then like the 6 to 10 range was one that you want to stay out of. It's interesting. Like there's some guys you definitely would not have wanted to pick in the 6 to 10 range in this draft. Johnny Davis going 10th. Shaden Sharp is, I mean, like these are all like Ivy, Matherin, Sharp, Dyson Daniels, Sohan. Like they're all good players, but like none of them are close to what J-Dub is, you know?
Yeah.
So I listened back last night. One of your bold predictions, Al, was that the Hawks were going to trade up to pick 8 and take Dyson Daniels. And you were talking about how much you loved the fit of Trae Young and Dyson Daniels.
Wow.
So shout out to you for
Nostradamus
eventually being correct about that.
Eventually being correct. It's still so crazy seeing Johnny Davis's name in the mix of these players.
Dude, he was in a Taco Bell commercial.
Yeah,
Draft.
I remember that.
As like, hey, this is one of the guys. He's well known. He's a lottery pick. Like this guy, this is a guy that we want to be in a commercial.
And I would say going back through the mocks, like there wasn't anyone who was like super down on Johnny Davis.
No.
Everyone kind of had him in this range. Some people had him like late lottery, but everyone had him in this range and felt like it was the correct range for him.
I remember Matt Penny loved him.
Oh, yeah. Matt Penny liked him a lot.
Yeah. I mean, he averaged 20 points, 8 boards for a guard. I mean, he's 6'5", but he averaged 8 rebounds. I think that's more than anybody. I mean, like the only other guy that averaged more rebounds than him that went in the lottery was Chet. You know, like there were a lot of things to like about him. I mean, it's a weird story that he flamed out that poorly. Like it is very, very weird
from the jump.
Yeah,
it was like from day one, everyone was like, "Oh, this isn't going to work."
That's a very, very strange story. If you could go back in time and whisper into Sam Presti's ear, "Hey, don't take Usman Jang, take this player," who would you say?
He would have thought this was crazy, but if I'm actually not just going for like the most talented player, but a guy who I just think would have fit on this Thunder team, I would say Christian Braun.
Okay.
Because he, especially the player he has become now, like he is like a souped up version of like I don't know. I guess Aaron Wiggins is kind of like Christian Braun.
Sure.
But I think Christian Braun is slightly better than him. But that kind of like jack of all trades off the bench type of player. And it did take Christian Braun a few years to get to that point.
Yeah.
But I feel like the player he is now, like that would be a very nice player to have on the Thunder.
Yeah. I would say shock the world, take Andrew Nembhard.
Oh, wow. I hadn't even scrolled down to the second round. That would shock the world.
It would have been like, what are the Thunder doing? He's mocked in the second round. He's a senior. Like, what are we doing here? He's probably the best guy after, then, don't you think?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, also like guys under consideration like Tari Eason.
Nembhard has played more minutes than anyone outside of the top 6 in the NBA.
He's really good, and we saw it up close and personal in the finals. Like that's a really good NBA player.
And he was someone who I felt like popped his rookie season.
Yeah, he's straight up just a good basketball player.
Which means maybe they don't take Kaysen Wallace the next year.
Yeah, maybe. He's a better player than Kaysen right now, though. Like overall, like I don't think he's a better defender necessarily, but like he's.
Oh no, I don't disagree with that. I just think like the idea of taking two smaller guards.
Yeah.
Although I guess Nembhard is 6'5".
I was gonna say he's like 6'4.5".
I think of him as a smaller guard, but yeah. Yeah, that would have shocked the world.
That'd have been jarring. Like, and he's Chet's teammate too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean Christian Brown would have been shocking too. I mean, at the time, names that would have made more sense would be like Jalen Duren, or AJ Griffin, or even Tari Eason,
Mark Williams.
Like,
yeah, and like, yeah, whatever. I mean, Jalen made some big steps. Jalen Duren did, but could you really draft 3 Jalens? I mean, come on.
And as we kind of showed, though, it's not like they missed out on like some huge name.
Yeah.
I mean, I really like Christian Brown. We like Andrew Nembhard.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like maybe they didn't get players to that level, but they have restocked with players that are also very good in terms of role players.
Yeah.
So Sam Vecini, in his final mock, talking about Jalen Williams, said, "I wonder if we see a bit of an arms race from teams looking to acquire him. The Cavs and Hawks at number 14 and 16 are thought to be fans of Williams, so any team looking to acquire him, and there are quite a few fans in the late teens and early 20s, may want to call Charlotte at number 13 and 15 to potentially jump the pecking order to acquire him."
Wow.
So as we got closer, it became very clear that, okay, this guy has a stop. Like he's probably not making it past the lottery.
Yeah.
With Cleveland at 14. Depending on what was going to happen with Oos. Still unclear like who the Cavs liked more out of Oos and J-Dub,
Right.
but
right.
yes, definitely keyed in on both of them.
I believe it was Oos, but you never know.
You never know. I would have had Pressy take big body David Roddy.
Just for fun.
Just for fun. And then in the second round, we weren't done. Still one more pick to go. Pick number 34, Jalen Williams of Arkansas.
That's
J-Will.
right.
So overall, Chet, Ousmane Dieng, J-Dub, and J-Will. Now that is 3 players. They drafted 3 players who all got second contracts on the team they were drafted by.
Yeah.
I went back and tried to find an example of that because that is crazy. First, you just have to have 3 picks.
Yeah.
And then to nail all of them and not trade away any of them at any point, and they all stay with your team. Also, they drafted 2 players who both got max contracts on that team. So some examples I looked at. So 08 OKC, they drafted Westbrook and Ibaka. Not max contract for Ibaka, but like that 2 very good players to come away with in a draft. 06 Portland came away with LaMarcus Aldridge and Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
04 Orlando came away with Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson. Pretty good.
All stars.
And then 86 Cleveland came away with Brad Doherty, and Mark Price. Very good.
Yeah, that's good.
I did find a team, however, a very recent team that did draft 3 players who all got second contracts with that team. Any idea who it would be? Very recent, like last 4 years.
Is it Houston?
No, though they did have a lot of chances to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like the Jabari year would have been Jabari and Tari. I'm assuming Tari's going to get an extension, so they'll have 2 guys. But it was the 21 New Orleans Pelicans. Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Jose Alvarado. Now, it's kind of cheating because Jose Alvarado wasn't drafted. He was undrafted. But to come away with 3 guys in that draft who all end up on second contracts, that was a very good draft for the Pelicans. But just to point out how unique this draft was from Presti. I mean, we always talk about the run of KD, Westbrook, and Harden. This individual draft will get talked about that in that way.
Yeah.
Of just like, oh my gosh, hitting on 2 guys who are deserving of a max rookie contract extension,
Yeah.
and you get to keep both of them. It just does not happen.
No, it doesn't. No. It's
Crazy draft.
yeah. Just picking 3 times in the lottery just doesn't really happen.
Yeah, true.
And to hit on 2 of them is
In such a big way.
change your franchise forever.
And
change the city forever kind of picks.
And going back to what you were talking about with Michele, like this is coming off a draft where he drafted another 3 guys who are still in the league.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want about those guys. Like the fact that he just drafted players who are still in the league at this point,
Yeah.
and then comes back the next year and does it again, obviously in a much more dramatic fashion because 2 of them are max guys. Like the hit rate of just drafting NBA players is crazy.
Yeah. Just to draft guys that get second deals
Yeah.
is big time because a lot of these guys don't. A lot of these guys just don't make it. I mean, even looking at the 22 draft, like you could always be like, oh, but they should have taken this guy. They should have taken that guy. You obviously can't do that with Chet or Dub, but like Johnny Davis, he's done. AJ Griffin on his own volition is done. Like some of these guys are just kind of floating around. Marshawn Beauchamp just kind of floating around. Blake Wesley floating around. Wendell Moore.
We talked about Houston having all those picks, like Usman Garuba, Josh Christopher. Like they had a lot of guys who just didn't work out.
Ty Washington.
And it didn't matter because you collect enough picks, you get enough shots at it, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But then there are teams like Utah. Like I wouldn't be surprised if in a few years we look back and it's like, man, that guy's out of the league. That guy's out of the league.
Yeah.
Because they just have had trouble. Although shout out Kyle Filipowski. I feel like we were right on him.
Yes. I feel vindicated about Flip. I had a lot of people give me a hard time about liking Flip. And so
Summer League MVP.
Right in your face.
And if you don't think that matters, it honestly does. Because I forget who I was listening to yesterday. I think it was Ball. They were talking about how basically every Summer League MVP other than Josh Selby, at least among guys who were like a normal age. I think there were a few guys that were like 24 and won Summer League MVP. But among guys who were like 18 to 22, all of them got a second contract in the NBA.
Wow.
Except Josh Selby.
Listen to this. This is the 21 draft. These are picks 9 through 13. Maybe Davion doesn't need to be mentioned. He was picked 9, but 10 through 13. Zaire Williams, James Bouknight, Josh Primo, Chris Duarte.
Yeah, that was a brutal run.
Like those are all lottery picks. And like they're all gone.
And for that next run to be Moses Moody, Corey Kispert, Şengün, Trey Murphy. You can even throw Trey Mann in there as well. And then a couple picks later, Jalen Johnson.
I know.
Yeah, it's a dangerous spot to be right around there.
The draft
There's always
is hard.
like a little bubble of badness.
Yeah.
That you have to avoid in every draft.
There is a bubble of badness. And this one in the 22 draft, it happened to be Johnny Davis and Usman Chang, 10 and 11.
Yeah, it was kind of a tiny bubble, honestly. It was a pretty good draft.
Pretty small bubble of badness there. We should let's try to remember that phrase, the bubble of badness for the draft, because it is.
I mean,
in like the 6 to 10 range, there's always a bubble of badness. We just don't know how big it's going to be.
Yeah. So that brings us to the end of the draft, but that is not the end of the summer because a lot of other things happened this summer. In fact, when I was going back and thinking about this summer, all I was thinking about was the draft for obvious reasons. But a lot more happened. They signed Eugene Omarui as a free agent. Thumbs up. We liked him. They also signed, importantly, Mike Muscala. They brought Moose back. Andrew's internet has murdered him again. My background, I'm guessing, is about to be revealed again. Hopefully he is back soon. I'll save Moose for Andrew. So I'll go through some of these other trades. Oh, Andrew, I was just saying that they also signed Mike Muscala. Moose.
Shout out to Moose. Yeah, he was awesome. He's great. He got the Mario tattoo on his back. He was he was one of the guys from the rebuild. Like they really needed him.
And then they made a couple of trades. They traded Vít Krejci to Atlanta for Mo Harkless. Hey, Vít Krejci, another guy still in the NBA. That
Yeah.
honestly, maybe the craziest one, because I remember Sam Vecini having no idea that he was going to be selected in the second round. He had just torn his ACL, so like you knew he wasn't going to play, and also it was like, is this guy even a second round pick? Still in the NBA. And then they have just the grossest trade ever, which shut down weeks of podcasting by us. Traded Derek Favors, Mo Harkless, Ty Jerome. Oh, shout out Ty Jerome. Teo Maledon, and 2 seconds to Houston for Sterling Brown, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris was still in the league, and David Nawaba. I remember there being some Nawaba talk.
Yeah, there was some Nawaba talk. We were watching him in preseason, and we're like, could David Nawaba catch on with the Thunder? And it's like, no, he can't.
And all 4 of them were shortly waived.
Yeah, they were all.
So that was a fun one, because we were just getting into like roster crunch talk. Like, oh, the Thunder finally have to start making some decisions. Like, who are they going to keep? And they just wipe them all out in one trade, basically.
Yes. Hey, before we move on, we need to take a break.
Okay.
We'll be right back. And we're back after the quick break. A couple things I want to tell you guys about. One, our friends at Bob Moore Kia, who support the Thunder and Down to Dunk. I got back from my trip to Vegas in this beautiful Kia Carnival. Alex got to ride in it many times from the hotel to the arena. Beautiful vehicle, leather seats. My kids were very comfortable in it. We drove from Vegas to OKC in one day, and you know what? We were riding around like kings. It was a beautiful time. Go check out Bob Moore Kia today. They're on Northwest Expressway in between Council and Rockwell. Some of the friendliest people you'll ever meet at Bob Moore Kia. Right now, you can get a 2025 Sorrento. The Sorrento is amazing. It's an amazing vehicle. Loved the Sorrento when we were driving it. You can finance it at 1.9% APR for 60 months, $500 bonus cash with Kia Finance Assistance, or lease it $329 a month for 24 months, 10K miles a year, $3,999 due at signing. You can get a K4, which the K4 is very cool as well. You can lease it for $239 a month for 24 months. Very, very awesome vehicle. $3,499 due at signing. You can get a 25 Telluride right now. You can lease it for $379 a month for 24 months. 10K miles a year, $3,999 due at signing. The Telluride is awesome as well. So go check those out. Listen, go just test drive a Kia. If you've not ever considered a Kia, which is probably something that I would say a few months ago, consider it. Consider just test driving a Kia. Stopping in to Bob Moore Kia, tell them Down to Dunk sent you, and test drive a Kia. I promise it will change your entire mind on what you think about Kias. So shout out to Bob Moore Kia, and thank you guys for supporting Down to Dunk. I also want to tell you this Friday, usually this is on Thursday, so it's confused some people, but on Friday, Down to Dunk is hosting bingo night at the Jones Assembly. So they usually do it on Thursday nights. This week it's on Friday night. At the Jones Assembly, just fresh off the fry pod, we will be hosting bingo. So we'll be calling bingo. We'll have prizes. We'll probably have some Down to Dunk shirts to throw at you. So please join us Friday night at the Jones Assembly for that. Junes. We also just need to mention they drafted 2 guys named Jalen Williams, and that was like a thing. That was just something that people just talked about incessantly.
I would say still a thing.
It is. It's less of a thing now. People don't talk about it all the time, but people talked about it all the time. All the time.
So before we finish, we just have 2 more things to mention, because in addition to trades, drafts, and free agents, we also have contracts. And there were 2 contracts signed this summer that ended up being very important. The first, Lou Dort signed to a 5-year, $87.5 million contract. By year, making 15.3, 15.3, 17, 18.2, 18.2, with a team option on the last year. Now, this was a deal that I thought was more disliked at the time. And I know there were people that disliked it. I mean, I watched a clip from, I forget what their show was called, but KOC and Chris
Vernon, the
Chris
mismatch.
Vernon. Mismatch. Yeah, mismatch.
Yeah.
And Chris Vernon hated it, but KOC really liked it. He was a big Dort fan.
Mm.
And then I went on Reddit and I found the original Reddit posts. I was like, okay, there's got to be like a hate comment at the top of this. There's no way NBA Reddit like this. And that was not the case. Everyone was like, I'm so glad he's not making pennies anymore, because that was kind of the discussion about Lou Dort at that time, about how he was just on this scam contract that he had signed that rookie season. He was barely making anything, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
And so everyone seemed pretty cool with it, actually. I was a little surprised, but I know there was more pushback against this deal at the time.
Yeah. And it is a fantastic contract for him and the Thunder. So
yeah, it turned out to be a very good deal.
Yeah.
And the other one was signing Isaiah Joe to a 4-year, $48 million contract. Now listen to this one by year: 13 million, 12.4, 11.3, 11.3. Now, as a point of reference, the MLE for 25-26 starts at 14.1. So he's making $3 million under the MLE in the final 2 seasons of this deal, with a team option on the last year. Listen, I know there's people, I've seen people like talking about wanting to trade Isaiah Joe because of how things went down in the playoffs. But I think he is hugely valuable in the regular season. I mean, you can go look at the lineup data. Like the lineup, and this goes back to the tanking, or not the tanking years, but I guess it was the 40-win year. When Isaiah Joe was on the court with SGA, it became like their new SGA and Muscala, 2-man lineup. Like it just dominated every time you put Isaiah Joe on the court with SGA. And that's kind of held true. Now, it wasn't true in the playoffs. He did not have a good playoffs. It felt like, oh, we can't really play him. But for that amount of money on that contract, I think you're getting the value that you would want to get.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Are you going to mention the Summer League roster, by the way?
Oh, you can mention it if you have it.
Yeah, I have it. This was a ridiculous Summer League roster. And I was going to mention just like Chet's for Summer League game because it was just appointment viewing. This was their Summer League roster: J-Dub, J. Will, Aaron Wiggins, Lindy Waters, JRE, Poku, Trey Mann, Chet, Josh Giddey, Usman Jang. It's just a crazy roster.
Yeah, we were spoiled.
That was an amazing roster. Also, Eugene Omarui was on the roster, who had a cup of coffee with the Thunder. Man, like that was just an unbelievable time to be a Thunder fan, like watching this team grow up. And then I remember watching Chet. I was watching it on TV, but like Chet in Salt Lake City with like J-Dub and Giddey on his team. It was like basically the Thunder. Trey Mann was playing. Like that was basically the Thunder team that was playing there. Like watching what Chet was doing was just, I mean, it was like a spiritual experience for Thunder fans. Like it was just unbelievable. You can go listen to it. Tyler Parker and Taylor and I were all like, we were hyped, and we did an emergency pod after that because we were like, we have like Dirk and Kevin Garnett, morphed into one person on our team now. It's like
until it all came crashing down with the Kenny Lofton Jr. game.
True.
And then we said, "Oh no, have we found Chet's kryptonite already?" This is terrible.
And maybe they did.
And maybe they did, because if you look at his Chinese Basketball Association stats, they're pretty good.
Kenny Lofton can get buckets, man. He can absolutely get buckets.
So real quick, Isaiah Joe. This is last year in the regular season. Okay. SGA, Isaiah Joe on the court, plus 18.1. Isaiah Joe, Aaron Wiggins on the court, plus 20.9.
Wow.
Isaiah Joe, Lou Dort, plus 20.7. Isaiah Joe and J-Dub plus 27. Like, I understand it was a rough playoffs. That guy is hugely valuable in the regular season. And, whether it's injuries or wanting to play young guys more who might bring the team down a little bit, I think Isaiah Joe is kind of like a regular season cheat code for good lineups.
Yeah.
And so I think he's absolutely worth that on that deal. And I would not trade him unless you're getting back a real rotation piece. I don't think there's any reason to just get rid of Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, there's some people suggesting that just like salary dump him, which I think
I know, which is so stupid when you're not even going to be paying the tax in the upcoming season.
It
There's
shows
not even
how
a tax reason to do it.
It shows how like completely spoiled we are with like this team.
Yes.
Like what other team, what other fan of a team would suggest to just dump Isaiah Joe? Like, is there another team that's like, we got enough guys, we just need to? It's like, no.
Yeah. So I'm still a big fan of Isaiah Joe, and I'm also a big fan of this summer, the summer of 2022. Even with the Usman Jang trade, I'm giving this an A+. I really think that the drafting 2 players who get max contracts on your team, drafting 3 players who get second contracts on your team, that is just like, that doesn't happen ever. I tried to find examples. Doesn't really happen. I mean, even that New Orleans one I gave you, Jose Alvarado was undrafted. Like, drafting 3 players in the draft, all getting second contracts, 2 of them getting max contracts, it has to be an A+, even with the Usman Jang trade.
Yeah, it's an A++. I mean, it's arguably the best summer they've ever had.
Yeah, and then factoring in those 2 contracts. I mean, getting that Lou Dort contract done and the Isaiah Joe contract done. Like, those are 2 great contracts for those guys.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
And trading away Vít Krejci and letting him spread his wings, Andrew, in Atlanta. Can you put a value on that?
Listen, A+++ for the Vít Krejci deal.
There was a reason why he wasn't included in that huge dump trade. Although I will say Ty Jerome was included in that.
Ty Jerome was.
He deserved better.
Yeah, he did. Ty Jerome had an awesome year this year.
He did.
Even with Chet breaking his foot and with LeBron driving on him on that slippery floor.
But that's not Sam's fault. That's not Summers of Sam's fault.
Well, Sam didn't do that. But that was, man, what a gut punch that was. After watching him in Summer League and then seeing that happen that was awful.
Yeah.
That was awful. Let us know your thoughts on this summer. Let us know if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know in the comments. Just your thoughts on what happened that summer. Obviously, all very good. Let us know your favorite moments from the summer. I mean, it was just incredible. Absolutely incredible. What Sam and his team was able to accomplish in the summer of 2022. Anything else out before we go? There's not really any news, any thundery news happening.
No, I saw that iHeart was on Podcast P's pod.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that yet.
I haven't either. I just saw one headline that, who knows, maybe he said something else, but he said the only time he felt like the team was against the ropes was in the Denver series.
Yeah.
And I was like, do you not remember Pacers game 4? Because I certainly felt on the ropes in that game.
Yeah, no question. I thought it was over. Like, I thought they're going to go down 3-1 and like maybe they could get it together. But looking back at the series now, if they don't win that game, they don't win the series.
No way.
Like,
no, that Pacers team was too relentless. Like, they just weren't going. Maybe you win game 5 and send it back to Indy, but if that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if you get like a similar result that we got in game 6, which was just like Indy just taking over.
They killed them. I flew to Indianapolis for that game, and they killed them. They killed them. It was awful. That was embarrassing what happened in Indianapolis.
Yes. So I would definitely say on the ropes at least twice. I mean, if honestly, in terms of on the ropes, it felt like Denver game 4
Yeah.
Denver game 5,
Game 5 too. Yeah.
and Pacers game 4. Those were
Yeah.
the 3 games where I was at my lowest at various points during those games.
You think they were on the ropes going into game 7? I mean, we sat right here in my office and did the game 7 pod.
Yeah,
the
but
prior to game 7 pod. They weren't on the
For-
ropes, you don't think?
no, because it was a pregame. Like when I think on the ropes, I'm thinking like in the game, you're like,
the
oh my gosh, this is over. And even in game 7, Pacers start off hot, but like before the Halliburton injury, it still felt like pretty even back and forth.
Yeah.
I was obviously nervous as hell, but I wasn't like sitting down, head in hands yet.
Yeah.
Which if I had been at some of those other games, that would have been me for sure.
Dude, and the shock of game 1 for both those series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hallie shot. I was in the arena for both of them. One, the Aaron Gordon shot was like 7 feet from my face. It was just like
in your face.
I cannot believe that happened. It was just absolutely shocking. Everybody just kind of just stood up and was just like, wait, what just happened? Because it all happened so fast because the Thunder didn't have a timeout. And so J-Dub just had to like take the ball out and just throw it up there from half court. He missed. It was just like, wait, what? Like, what just happened here? And same thing with Hallie. Like it didn't feel like the Pacers were going to win that game until Halliburton hit that shot. And you were just like, oh my gosh, they just lost that game. They just lost game 1 of the NBA Finals. Oh man. I'm glad it all worked out because there would have been some really awful games to think about for the rest of the summer had it not worked out.
Yeah, this Summers of Sam would not have been as fun. I bet just from the stink of the finals, I would have given this an A instead of an A+. Because I would have just still been mad. But as it turned out, everything worked out. And I was thinking going forward, maybe we'll start next week doing like a bracket of best playoff moments.
Yeah.
I'd really like to like clip some of the moments are like bigger ideas, like the 30-point comeback against Memphis is kind of a bigger idea. But for some of the individual plays, I'd like to clip those so that we could show them.
We can clip them.
And to give equal weight just to make it more fun, because I feel like if we just did it straight up, it would basically be a lot of things from Denver and Pacer series.
Yeah.
But I was thinking if we could come up with 8 moments from each series.
There are moments from each series, like the Shea like ice step back in the Memphis series in game 4 was like that was a cool moment.
I actually thought you were talking about the one against Minnesota, but that is
there's that one too. There's that one too. I think one that's high on my list that I can think of right now is the 3 Dort threes in game 5 against Denver.
Yes.
That's
and so I'd like
there.
to do a tournament where we come up with a final 4 of the best moment from each series. And then we can choose an overall winner. And I think there's a lot of good options.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good options. Those Dort 3 threes may end up being the win just because of the importance of it. I mean, I think the 3 threes in game 7 with the big 3 hitting them all is more like cinematic, as a moment.
Sure.
But in terms of importance, those Dort threes, I mean, that was the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, it really was. Let us know in the comments on YouTube. Let us know on Twitter or Blue Sky moments that you would want to be in this bracket. You guys can help us get 8 moments from every series. So let us know what your thoughts are on that. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your Wednesday, and we will talk to you guys again on Friday.